Waiting for my grill to come up to the proper searing temperature. Figure I'd take about 5-10 minutes, make a quick video. Actually kind of excited about maybe going and seeing Jaws in the theater this week. It's a re-release, 50th anniversary. Of all my horror film swag, I got more Jaws stuff than anything else, which is weird. But I do watch it every time. If it's on, I'll watch it, and I own a copy. So maybe I really like Jaws and didn't realize how much I liked it. I've always been more of a Friday the 13th guy. But as speaking of slashers and monster flicks, the Dungeon, I think, or I believe, I'm observing the trend in the hobby as we have more people coming in the OSR and all this other stuff, and 5e losing its shine, and all the ridiculous crap coming out of the Wizards of the Left Coast. That people are craving danger. They're craving actual dangerous dungeons, and then if death doesn't wait around the corner, the tourist or the Johnny-come-latelys to the hobby are going on to doing something else. Maybe re-embracing conversation games and storytelling games, which I think are absolutely horrible. I mean, a lot of Discords, everybody seems to, there's several people who seem to like them. I'm like, it's trash. But anyway, I'm thinking about making a mega dungeon and just play testing it. I'm not one to be hawking and putting stuff out there to make a buck off the hobby as a side hustle, or that big dream everybody's got to be another 100aire in the OSR hobby, whatever. But I got some neat ideas about long, narrow hallways, tall rooms, secret chambers, secret sections of entire parts of the dungeon that you don't get to unless you luck into it, or you're someone who's very methodical, right? Completionists sometimes irritate me, but I'm going to make sections of this dungeon that takes a completionist to find. And there are other sections of the dungeon that I'm going to leave lots of dead space for the people who've got to fill in every little square. Stretch it out a little bit. So I got some devious ideas for traps that I've never put into modules because I've always thought, it's a little too deadly. I'm going to foam in here. But make it deadly. The mega dungeon is a test of skill. The dungeon is a test of skill. It weeds out your story gamers, it weeds out your non-committed, and it weeds out the chafe. Weeds out guys ain't that good. The impulsive, foolish. The guys that get your party killed. But hey, we need corpses in our dungeon because that's where all that loot comes from. See, I'm going to start working on one this week. I got hung up on how the entrance to it as opposed to just getting into the meat of it and having fun with it. I think I'm going to play test it on my Discord with random victims, just run different sections. I got a core group of like 10 people who play, actually closer to 12, who play in my 2 mega dungeon games. So I can draw victims from that, or grab some of these big talkers from these other Discord chambers I'm in. But yeah, what you want to do? Let's talk more, Walk. So I'll be playing around with it, and when it's all together, if I can feel like converting it over to PDF, I'll throw it out there for free. Anybody can have it. I don't give a shit. It's going to be written for Dragon Slayer RPG, but it'll work with any Ostrich or OSR or AD&D with minimal modifications, unless you're retarded. But yeah, it's going to be a project I'm working on. First project right now is steaks. Get your grilling in before it gets not Yeah, it's always good grilling weather. Who am I kidding? But y'all take care. Game well, game often.